this video, I'm going to show you another example of brow mapping on a different model in the workbook. So go ahead and turn to this page where you see this model, the blonde, and you can really tell the asymmetry. So before you measure, I want you to look at the overall, and this should be with the real client as well. Before you even get to touch the string to start measuring, look at the client, look at their face, try to recognize any asymmetry, because that's where it's our job, right, to try to balance out the asymmetry. And a lot of time client might not notice their asymmetry, but after they get their brows done, everything is dark, then they start noticing about the inherent asymmetry that had always been there. An opportunity for you to have an effective consultation with the client to show them the asymmetry and what you can do to help balancing everything out. So let's get started. Brow right here is naturally higher than this side, and I also noticed that her eyelid on this side has a finer crease versus over here. Over here her eye seemed to be more of like a lazy eye. The lid also is heavier, so this side in general is just weighing down a little bit. So another word is that it seems to be lower, this whole side. Okay, so we're gonna try to balance it out, but we need to also try to keep as much brow hair as possible. So first we're going to find the middle of the brow. Second, I'm going to find a V. On both sides, and that is a line that goes from the cupid bow to the outer corner of the eye. Okay, and then I'm going to find the highest point. Now in this case, this brow is higher, this brow is lower, so it's not too much of an asymmetry. So a lot of time I usually go with the higher side, but if the client has severe asymmetry, you can't go with the higher side if you ended up having to shave pretty much all of the brow on the other side just to match, then it doesn't make sense. So in that case of severe asymmetry, you would have to kind of choose the in-between, maybe like have to shave off the higher side and then shave off the lower side a little bit on the bottom. So in this case, I'm going to choose the higher side as a more dominant, and then I'm going to make the brow thicker, because her brows are already thin enough that we can definitely increase the thickness. So now that I have the highest highest point, I'm going to find where the front should start. I found one side. I'm going to use this ruler to mirror it over. And we're mirroring it over right here. Okay, put a line here. Make sure your ruler is straight. Okay, and then now I have the front. Now I'm going to find the bottom front. In this case, I'm going to go very close to the bottom brow hair on the lower side. Go super close into the hair, and then go ahead and draw a line straight across. Okay, so you can see that the brow, the tail on this lower side definitely dips lower than this side. So that's just something that you can kind of like just observe and make appropriate adjustment as you're drawing the shape. And now I'm going to find the top front. And again, I'm going very close into the brow hair, which is like right here. This side missing this much. All right, and so now we're going to find the arch. And the arch is the length of the eye. So I'm going to measure the eye. And then I'm going to bring this up here. Now keep in mind my fingers still hold very still to the ruler itself. So that's how you keep it the same distance. Okay, so I have the arch and we can tell that her arch needs to shift a little bit over to this side. I'm going to draw just a slight line to kind of like see where the bottom arch should be, because I have my 1, 2, 3, 4 points right here. This should be the bottom arch, and you can see that we have to add quite a bit underneath here. And same thing with this side. You probably will need to add quite a bit on the top right here. And then I'm going to cut the tail shorter on this side because this tail is longer than this side. So now we have our 5 points. I'm going to connect. You can use the ruler to connect if you want. But I'm going to draw with the pencil. Curve it out. Same thing with over here. Looks like she's gonna need to shave a little bit of hair underneath on this side. And then on this side, she needs to shave a little bit of hair on the top. So now I'm going to fill it in. That way it's easier for you to see. This side might be a little bit too thick. I'm going to erase it and bring it up. I feel like it's a little too thick. Then you can always erase it and bring it up just a tad bit right here, just because the angle that I have my paper kind of hard to draw. But when you draw, you can flip the paper around. So now I have my shape. I'm going to darken it, that way you can see better in the camera. She has this whole top, front part right here that we need to fill in. Okay, so now I'm going to soften the arch. I'm going to wipe this right here. All right, so now you have the shape for this model.